What's up, beautiful people? Welcome back to my channel. It's me, Michaela. If you guys are new here, thank you so much for stopping by. Make sure you hit the subscribe button down below, and let's go ahead and jump right on into this video. So in today's video, I want to actually talk to you guys about how I've been able to transition from an anxious attachment style to a much more secure attachment style. And I'm so happy to be making this video because, you know, having an anxious attachment style, looking back on that, it was not the most exciting time of life. And I struggled a lot in relationships and in dating because of this attachment style that I had. And so being able to be in a much more secure place definitely feels a lot better. And so I hope that this will be beneficial to those of you out there who maybe are currently operating in that anxious attachment. I know a lot of people experience this because our attachment styles that we have as adults, a lot of it is correlated to our relationships with our parents and how we were raised and different things that we had to sort of navigate and cope with as kids and teenagers. And so all of that stuff kind of carries over into our adulthood and into our intimate relationships and romantic relationships and friendships and all these other relationships that we experience in adulthood. And so I want to just share with you guys how I've become more secure within my attachment style and help you guys who maybe are struggling with that. Before I get into the different things that helped me with becoming more secure, I want to actually go over the definition of the word anxious because, and I have my notes right here, because I've talked about on this channel before how powerful our words are and about being intentional about the words that we speak, and even just with spelling, you know, we're writing, we're casting out spells, you know, essentially in a way. And so just being intentional and mindful about the words that you use. And I think knowing the definitions of words is important because in the world that we're in today, you know, we have a lot of slang and the internet girlies, we have our words that we like to use. And so sometimes the true meaning of words can get diluted or lost in this new world that we're in. But I think being able to look at a definition of a word and kind of understand, okay, what does this word actually mean and how it is impacting you in your life. So when you look up the word anxious, the first definition, and this is just like a quick Google search, I'm not doing the whole, you know. So when you look up the word anxious, it says experiencing worry, unease, or nervousness, typically about an imminent event or something with an uncertain outcome. The second definition says wanting something very much, typically with a feeling of unease. And so just looking at the word anxious alone, you know, it's connected to some pretty low vibrational words, I would say. Being in a place of worry and unease, those are not the most exciting feelings. Those are feelings that are not good. They're, you know, it's worrying. You're concerned and stressing out about something that hasn't even happened yet. It says typically about an imminent event or something with an uncertain outcome. So when we have this anxious attachment style, we are in this place of worry. We are in this place of unease about something that we don't know what's going to happen. And just thinking from it from a basic level, being in a relationship and you are anxious, that is not a good place to be, especially if you want a healthy and a thriving relationship. And so I can see how being in that place of being anxious all the time, how it didn't really produce sustainable relationships for me because I was operating in this very low vibrational place. And so therefore I was attracting these low vibrational connections that were not fulfilling me, and therefore they did not last because we weren't in alignment anyways. And so the first thing that really helped me with becoming more secure is staying present, staying in the present moment. I know when I was reading the definition, it said how we're typically worried about an uncertain outcome. And I think staying present has helped me with becoming more secure because in the past when I was anxious, a lot of the times it was because I didn't know if we were going to be together or if we were going to stay together. I didn't know if at some point they were going to break up with me or they were going to switch on me, ghost me. So I was operating from this place of worry because I just didn't know what was going to happen, instead of being in this place of staying present, enjoying the moment now, and being present and grounded within myself now so that I can really analyze how I'm feeling. Because I think had I been more present, I probably could have recognized red flags in relationships more clearly and been able to save myself a lot of stress by trying to worry about the future when I could just be right here and analyze how I'm feeling right now. And there's no need for me to worry about if we're gonna be together if right now I'm seeing a red flag that's not gonna work anyways. And so just staying present, you know, I know it's easier said than done, especially when we have life and bills and just living life. You know, a lot of the things that we do as people kind of require us to plan ahead, and we're working towards future goals. But if you can find moments within your days to stay present, and even in your relationships, like staying present right now, like how are we right now? What are we connecting on and vibing on in this moment right now? And allowing the relationship to intentionally unfold into what it's going to unfold into, but not worrying about the outcome. The second thing that helped me with becoming more secure is really knowing who I am. And so as I've been on this journey of learning more about the law of attraction, manifestation, law of assumption, all of that stuff, and connecting more with God and source, and recognizing that I come from the ultimate source, the creator, that has also helped me become more secure. Because when you are secure in who you are and where you come from, you have this sense of confidence in yourself of like, oh yeah, of course someone's gonna want to be with me. Like, why would they not want to be with me? They're gonna want to be with me. And so switching from being anxious and being like, oh my gosh, I don't know if we're gonna be together, I don't know if it's gonna work out, to being secure within who you are and who you come from and where you come from, that helps you become more secure in your relationships, because you were going into them with a higher self-worth and a higher self-image. So therefore you are not even attracting low vibrational connections, because you're already going in it with a higher vibe and with a higher self-worth. And so therefore the other person should also be coming with that same sort of energy. And if they're not, then that's something that you can recognize and identify, because you know who you are and you know when things are not in alignment with you. And so, and that part can take some time. You know, it took me a few years to really get to this place of understanding like, oh, this is where I come from. Like, I'm connected to source. We're all connected to source. And so therefore there's no need for me to go into these connections feeling less than, because I come from the ultimate creator. And so being just solid in who you are, I do feel like will help you when you are dating and when you're getting into these connections, because you're gonna not look at it from a place of you don't deserve to be in this relationship, and you trust that if it's meant for you all to be together, it will happen. And if it's not going to be with this person, it'll be with someone better. And so that is the second thing that has really helped me. The third thing that has helped me is validating myself. So in reflecting on previous relationships that I've been in and previous connections, I was looking for validation from my partners. And I was looking for them to validate me as far as like how I looked, you know, telling me that I'm pretty and beautiful and all these things, but also validating me as a person, validating me as worthy enough to be in a committed relationship with. And so when I wasn't getting that from them, it made me even more anxious, because it made me feel like, okay, well, if I'm not getting that for them, then maybe something is wrong with me. Maybe I am not pretty. Maybe I'm not worthy. And so once I was able to shift to being able to validate myself, because I know who I am and I'm staying present in this moment right now, that also helped me with being more secure in connections, because now I'm going into connections because I truly and genuinely just want to get to know you as a person and see if we vibe with each other and if we're in alignment. Not so much I'm going into this relationship because I want you to validate me and make me feel worthy because you chose me. Like, I'm not going into it from that perspective anymore. And so being able to fill my own cup as well has helped me become more secure, because again, the relationship is just extra. Like, I'm already content within myself. I'm already validating myself. So the time that I'm spending with you, that is just the cherry on top. Like, I'm coming into this to find out, okay, what can I learn about myself in this connection? What can I learn about you? You are also an extension of God. And so I'm going to just go into this and honor you in that regard. And then if it does turn into something more serious, great. But I don't need for you to validate me with choosing me to be your partner, because I'm validating myself. I don't need that. And the fourth thing that helped me is staying in the place of being whole and complete. And as I mentioned on this channel before, you know, my family, we have the affirmation that we like to say, I am awesome and amazing, whole and complete, and the universe is working everything out perfectly for me. And when you know that you are whole and complete, you don't feel this sense of lack. And I think before, when I had a more anxious attachment style, I was definitely coming from like a lack place. Like, yeah, it was just lack city over there. And the reason I was coming from that place was because I had connected my self-worth to being in a relationship. And so because I was not in these successful relationships, I felt like my worth was diminished and I felt like I was lacking, when no, I'm already whole and I'm already complete. The relationship is just extra. It's just going to add to what is already complete and whole within itself. And I think since I've been able to kind of like be in that place of just being whole and complete within myself, and not coming from a desperate place, but more so coming from an empowerment place, and looking at relationships from, you know, you are also an extension of God. And so therefore, I would hope that you also feel whole and complete within yourself too. So imagine you have two whole and complete people coming together. It's just an abundance of whole and completeness versus when you have two people that are coming from a place of lack. You know, if I'm coming from a place of lack, then I'm coming to you because I'm expecting you to fill me up. But then if I don't have anything to give as well, then that can cause some frustration within the relationship. And who knows, like my anxious attachment at that time was probably repelling people who were whole and complete and secure within themselves. Because when you are whole and complete, you don't want to entertain or be around connections that don't emanate that as well. And so just, you know, remembering who I am also has helped me with staying in that whole and complete place. Because again, and I've mentioned this in previous videos, but when you really know who you are and who you're connected to and where you come from, you know that you have everything that you need inside of you, and that anything else outside is just extra and is just something that we can appreciate, but it's not something that we need to be desperate for. Fifth thing, and the last thing that I'm going to talk about, is trusting that things are working out for my greater good. And this has really become like my philosophy in life, is really just trusting that everything is working out for me. And even in relationships, you know, like, of course, I go into new connections wanting them to work out, but I also trust that if it doesn't work out, then it's probably for my greater good. And it's probably for something that I don't know yet, and I may never know. I may never know the reason why a relationship wasn't meant to be, but just trusting that the universe is looking out for me and that it's keeping me out of connections that I don't need to be in, and connections that are not going to serve me in the long run. And so when I was in that anxious attachment, I was trying to hold on because, again, this relationship validated something within me, and it made me feel like, okay, if I keep this relationship, I've succeeded. If I get into this relationship, I have succeeded. Rather than being okay with letting go, being more detached and not trying to hold on so long or so hard, but being secure enough to know that, okay, I'm here, you are here. If it's meant for us to be together, we will be. If not, we will go our separate ways, and you will find what it is that you are looking for, or the universe will bring you what you need that will best serve you, and the universe will bring me what will best serve me. And being in that place of just like peace and content with whatever outcome happens. I hope that this video was helpful to you guys. You know, it's an ever-going journey. Just because I'm in a more secure place now doesn't mean that I don't have moments of doubt or anything like that. Like I'm recently in a new connection, and there was like a couple of days where we didn't communicate, and the old me would have been stressed and like panicked and been like, oh my gosh, he doesn't like me anymore, like, you know, what's going on? But today, the more secure version of me was like, you know what? I'm sure he's busy. He's probably got some things going on, and I'm busy too. So I'm really not about to stress over him not hitting me up. And if it's meant for us to talk again, we will. And sure enough, we did. And the next time that we linked up, it was an amazing time. And so I think just being able to just trust and just be chill and content about these relationships, and just really believing that everything is going to work out, and affirming what it is that you want as well, because the energy that you put out, that is what you are going to receive back in your connections. Thank you guys for watching this video, and let me know down in the comments below things that have helped you guys switch from anxious attachment to being more secure. So until next time, bye.